So let's get started. So leadership big picture. We've been talking about leadership for a while now, leadership and service. And what we know is that this organization is just a leadership organization. Everything that you're doing is simply leadership. And we have chosen to use service as a way of demonstrating our leadership. We're using service as a way of serving or as a way of demonstrating our leadership. So first I want to talk to you about the life role leadership. There's something that we call life role leadership. This is something that this is the kind of leadership that you have to practice every day in your life. You come through some situations, and these situations really force you to act as a leader. Sometimes you do these things without understanding that we're actually applying leadership skills. We are playing leadership roles in solving different things that we come across. So I want you to know that leading is the ability to influence behavior, thinking, and action of someone else. If you're able to influence the behavior, thinking, and actions of someone else, then you're actually leading. So you can ask yourself in your daily life, how do you influence people? How do you influence your friends? How do you influence your siblings? So if you're able to influence them in a positive way or in a negative way, still you are leading them, because you're changing how they think to a different set of thinking. You're changing their behavior, so you're actually influencing them. And we can measure our leadership ability by the amount of influence that we have. How much influence do you have? We can use that to measure how good you are as a leader. We can use that to measure your efficiency as a leader. So everybody influences someone. I want you to know, if you're a parent, you're actually influencing your children. So everybody in this life influences someone else. If you're a parent, you're influencing your kids. If you're a brother, you're a big brother, you're influencing your siblings. You're a big sister, you're influencing your siblings as well. And this is good if you have good people who are producing good influence. But if you have bad people who are morally corrupted, then there is a problem, because influence is very dangerous. It does not matter who you are. It does not matter what kind of influence you're producing. The moment you're influential, you're just powerful. So you can be a very bad person, but the moment you have influence, the society is not going to look at how bad you are. Nobody's going to judge you. Nobody's going to judge your behavior. Nobody's going to judge your standards, your life. People are just going to enjoy the influence that you're producing. Now that can be very, very dangerous, because we can have good musicians good musicians in terms of the music that they're producing, whatever, but they can be bad influence to the community. We can have parents who are bad influence to their families, and these parents are raising kids, and these kids are part of community. So as a result, we may be damaging communities, because we have bad parents who are influencing their kids in a negative way, and these kids now, they go out and influence other kids in the community using the negativity and bad thing that they have learned from their parents. I hope it makes sense. So influence is very powerful. And influence is something that can be built. Influence is something that can be built. Any leader really any person who wants to lead people, that leader needs a power to influence people. And this is something is built over time when there is trust, integrity, and as an essential element. So you are influencing people, whether you know or you don't know, but I want you to know that you are influencing people. When you're working as a tutor, you're actually influencing your student. This is why we said we want you to play your A game. We want you to act in a very good way, to carry yourself, to conduct yourself in a very professional way. Because you are influencing, you are not only teaching math, you're not only teaching physics, you are influencing. At the end of the day, when you look at that student that you're teaching, we are going to see something that the student learned from you. Not just the math, the science that you taught. There is other thing that this student has learned from you. And when the student was learning that from you, was not even aware that they were learning something from you. But because there is power of influence. Maybe they loved how you talked. They loved how you're wearing. What you're wearing. Let's say you are teaching a female student. You're a female tutor who is teaching a female student. And that female student really likes your hairstyle. After some time, this student is going to try to have your hairstyle. Is going to ask her mother that, Mom, I want to have this kind of hairstyle. And the mother is going to ask, how? Why? Since when do you want that kind of hairstyle? Then that female student can say, maybe she can say, I saw my tutor with this hairstyle and I really like it. The way you dress. After sometimes the student can end up saying, I want to dress up like this tutor. The way you talk, your commitment, your love, how positive you are. The way you handle pressure. Maybe at some point the client, maybe they insult you or they yell at you before the student. And then you compose yourself, you carry yourself, you don't panic, you stay calm, and your student is like, wow, this is amazing. Like, I'll never be able to take this kind of insult. I'll never be able to be calm when somebody shouts at me like this. So after some point, your student is learning that it's possible to be calm even when someone yells at you. So when this student goes back to school and they have friends yelling at them, insulting, calling them names, they may end up just being cool, just being quiet, because they've seen that from you. You have influenced them in that way. So you're constantly influencing people. And anyone who can influence does not even need many. Okay, and when I say to influence, I don't even mean words, that the ability to speak, to teach, to overteach, to overtutor. That's not what I'm saying. You can be very influential to your student or to other people around you, to your colleagues in work. You can be very influential to the point that you motivate these people to work hard. You start motivating these people to work hard because of how influential you are. They see how you go to work on time. They see how you respect people. And they're trying to find out what is so special about you. How do you do this? Why are you not gossiping about the boss while everybody else in this office is gossiping and speaking ill about the boss? So they're trying to learn from you power of influence. They're trying to be you. That is power of influence. You may not be even talking, you may not even be that talkative. You may be very introvert, minding your own business. But people are learning a lot of things about your life. As a matter of fact, I don't really like to talk. I don't talk. I'm very quiet, like very, very quiet. Sometimes people really observe what I'm doing, how I'm doing things, but I'm very, very quiet. I don't really like to get me to talk. It takes time. But people learn a lot of things and they admit, I'm learning, or like, how are you doing that? How? So our lives, what we do can really help other people, can shape other people. I'm saying these things because, we may send you into service. Some of you, a few of you, all of you, may send you into service. Even private tutoring is service. Whatever you're doing now, it's service. We want more from you. We want more from you. If you think your job is to help that student to get A, but everything else, what you're doing, the behavior that you're displaying before that student is not good behavior, your actions are not good actions, then that is not enough for us. There is still more. We need more. We have tried to set our bars very high, very high. We want people who can influence. We want to hear from customers, not just saying that my child is getting B's now, my child is getting A's now. No, we want to hear more than that. That my child now is very well behaved. I don't know what's happening. My child now can sit down, eat without talking. I got a testimony from one parent some month ago. And this parent said that her daughter was very, very naughty. She could not sit down, she could not eat properly, she would just talk when she was eating. She was just, she was that kind of girl who was all over the space. But when our tutor started teaching that daughter, she changed, because this tutor was really also teaching this child how to behave, how to focus, to know what to do at what time. And this child really loved this tutor because this tutor was very smart, very punctual, very committed. So she was learning and she was copying this tutor. She was imitating this tutor, not because this tutor was only saying words, not because this tutor was also living the word that she was saying. That's kind of thing that you want to see. That is what you are doing in this organization. That's why I say, really, your money, whatever we get from you, really does not mean that. It means nothing to us. Our role, our mission, our vision is to lead, is to influence, is to make a difference, to make an impact. That's where our certification is. Choosing not to lead is choosing to destroy your life and become a victim. People who are choosing not to lead are people who are choosing to destroy their lives and then become victims. Let me explain a little bit this statement. Remember, I'm talking about leadership, big picture. Choosing not to lead is choosing to destroy your life and become victims. Let me give an example. Let's say you have a CRA. This CRA, in university, you have a CRA or whatever. This CRA maybe has some responsibility. Maybe this CRA has to collect the assignment and give to the to the professor, and then whatever. And this assignment are very time sensitive. So if you're going to collect this assignment past the due time, maybe they may not be marked, or you may get a low grade. And this CRA is not serious. You've seen that CRA is not serious, and you're just quiet the first time the CRA is not collecting the assignment on time, the second time, third time, and it has just become a habit, and nobody really cares in that classroom. But you're getting a low grade and nobody's doing anything, and you're just sitting there. You're also becoming a victim, and you're not doing anything. My friend, that is not how leadership works. You actually have to do something. You have to make a decision to talk to that CRA, to talk to the professor, or to find another way of making things work. Anybody who is choosing not to lead is choosing to destroy their life. And after a short period of time, they'll be complaining to someone else. They'll be trying to complain to someone else about their situation, just because they chose not to lead. We're going to see in the next slide that leading also is connected to your decision. That's what I'm saying. Choosing not to lead is choosing to destroy your life. So self-leadership, I'm still on this this part of life role leadership. So self-leadership equips you to community and organizational leadership. When you are able to do self-leadership, and self-leadership really starts within you. The self-leadership starts with you, and it starts inside, very inside. You start motivating yourself. You start disciplining yourself. You start having the desire to change things around in your life, to make some changes in your life, to do things differently in your life. You want to have an impact. You want to change certain circles in your family, in your life. Then you start disciplining yourself. You start building standards around your life, principles to guide you and to guard you. That's why you're acting in self-leadership. What you're doing is called self-leadership. So self-leadership is what equips you to community and organizational leadership. Anybody who has not been able to master this area of self-leadership, they cannot really do anything in the community or in any organization. They cannot be leaders. That's why many people like to be employed. Many people like to be employed because people don't have discipline, and you cannot start your own business without having a discipline. If you don't have strong principles, strong morals, strong standards to guard you, you cannot do business. You cannot have your company. You cannot do anything. So people like going into getting employed. And even if you tell somebody that maybe you have to serve maybe 1,000 every day, and then use that money at the end of the year maybe to start something, a small business. You can be employed and then start a small business. You're not going to be able to serve because they have not been able to master self-leadership. Self-leadership is driven by a strong desire inside of you to do things differently. When you master this self-leadership now, you can go and lead in a community, in an organization, in a company. You can be a very good person. Self-leadership builds character that you need while serving in the community. Self-leadership builds character that you need while serving in the community. You need a character to be able to serve in the community. So self-leadership is going to help you to build that character. So you can only offer what you have. You can only offer what you have in leadership. If I tell you to go and serve and do something, as a matter of fact, I have to calculate before I send you. I have to do so much math to see what do you have. What do you have? If I want you to teach someone, let's say if I want to teach someone how to be disciplined, I have to really calculate and see how disciplined you are. If I want you to influence someone to have good behavior, I want to influence you to change someone else's actions, I have to calculate and see what you are, and see and find out about your own actions and find out about your own behavior. Because you can only offer what you have in leadership. You can only offer what you have in leadership. You cannot go beyond what you have. And that's how life is designed. When you stretch yourself more than what you have, it is going to be only for a while. And after a very short period of time, you're going to break. Because you have reached your elastic limit. Your elastic limit is here up to here. If you're going to go beyond that, you're going to break. So you can only offer what you have in leadership. That's why we encourage people to really master this thing called self-leadership. To master it. Because once you can master it, you can master leadership in your life. Nobody has to teach you things. Nobody has to force you to do things. You can just do them. You're disciplined. Nobody has to force you. You're not doing to impress anyone. You're just doing the right things because you're a leader. When you do that, when you're mastering self-leadership, it's like you're putting currency into your bank. You're putting money into your bank. You're depositing money. After sometimes your bank is going to have a lot to offer. Because by self-leadership, you have mastered maybe patience, resilience, you have good morals. And because of patience now, you know how to be patient with people, you know how to encourage people to be patient. You have resilience. You don't break when things are hard. Because of being able to master this. This is very important, especially in this generation, because most of us young people right now, we want very good things. We want to see results, outcomes fast, but nobody wants to be submitted to the process. Nobody wants to go through that process of getting this good thing that we want. As a result, we are using shortcuts. Somebody said that shortcut is actually a long cut. And there are no shortcuts. So you're running after shortcuts because we don't have patience. There's no resilience. We are not tough. No mental toughness. We are very weak. So you're going after shortcuts. We are going after shortcuts. Very many shortcuts. And this is destroying us. This is destroying the community. This is destroying the next this is destroying next husbands and wives, next mothers and fathers, because how are you going to be able to become good mothers and fathers if you don't have the resilience, you don't have patience, no ethical standards? How are you going to influence our children? What community are you going to build? Next time you're going to be elected, maybe you're going to be appointed to become regional commissioner, RC, maybe district commissioner. Do you think you're going to be a good leader? No, you cannot be a good leader. That's what is happening, because you have not mastered self-leadership, so you cannot lead people. You're going to be corrupted. You're going to be misusing your power. You're going to be doing crazy stuff, because we are running away from this training of self-leadership. This is training. This is self-training to become tough. We are running away from hardships. I gave an example a moment ago. Then nielezee mfano kwa Kiswahili kwamba kwamba vijana sasa hivi vijana wengi sasa hivi, kuna watu wamepanga, wamekuja chuo, labda wametoka mkoani, wamekuja Dar kusoma, wamepanga, lakini hawakutakiwa kupanga, and they're really struggling to pay the rent. Hawakutakiwa kupanga. Kwa nini? Hao wana ndugu wengi, na let's say mwaka wa kwanza alikaa kwa ndugu mmoja, akaanza kupanga ratiba, hapa kwangu usichelewe kurudi, usifanye hivi, inabidi uamke mapema, ufanye usafi, ufanye nini. Huyu mtu akaona anaonewa, akaamua let me go and start my life. Au mwingine alikuwa anaishi vizuri tu labda na mama mdogo. Siku moja mama mdogo akawa amepata na siku mbaya kazini, akawa na hasira, akaja akatukana, tukafanya kosa dogo, ukatukana mara moja, ukakasirika, ukaamua nataka naondoke nikapange. Sasa the real question is, if you're running away from this kind of hardship, how are you going to learn? Because life is not easy. Life is not easy. Labda ulikuwa unakaa na dada yako, ulikuja mwaka wa kwanza, dada labda hajapata kazi nzuri, kwa mnaishi kwa shida whatever, mnakula hivyo kidogo. Baadaye mtu akapata boyfriend akamwambia njoo uishi na mimi. Kwa hiyo mtu ambaye yupo chuo, maana anajua yupo chuo, anaishi na boyfriend, na ameolewa, sababu amekimbia maisha magumu kwa dada yake, amekimbia kula chakula kidogo, amekimbia ugumu kwa dada, amekimbia kuishi na boyfriend ili apate chakula kizuri. How are you going to learn now if you're running away from this hardship? Because character is attained through hardship. Character is strengthened, is built through hardship. That's how you get character. Not when things are good, when things are tough. That's why you can see we are able to lead people. I'm not saying that we've mastered, but that's why you can see sometimes you have people who are not attending the meetings, but you're not giving up. How many of you are here today? A few people, a very few of you. Lakini we are still doing this. Ingekuwa ni ungekata tamaa, ungesema hata nusu ya watu hudhurie meetings, ngoja niache kazi naofanya. But no, we don't do that, because we are learning through this. We're becoming tough through this. Watu wakiwa wagumu zaidi na sisi tunakuwa wagumu zaidi. We are becoming better. So don't run from this hardship. It's very important that you understand this point, because life role leadership or self-leadership is really going to help you a lot. Some of you, you start working, start tutoring. I've seen people tutoring, then something happens. Then like, I don't want to continue with tutoring. That family, whatever. I don't think they like me. They say this, they say that, whatever. I don't want to do it. No. I worked, nafanya kazi ya kufundisha nikiwa Tanzania. As a matter of fact, nilikuwa siachi kazi. Kazi ambayo nikipata nilikuwa nimefanya muda wote, kwa sipotezi kazi. Kuna sehemu nimefanya kazi miaka 2 na nimefanya kazi sio kwamba sehemu ni nzuri, no. Kuna wakati unadharauliwa moja kwa moja, direct unadharauliwa. Saa nyingine unaitwa kwenye vikao vya kijinga, unaanza kuuliza maswali, umesoma hapo, umefanya hivi, nani ni nini. Kuna maswali unaonyesha kabisa unadharauliwa kwamba ni mtu wa chini. But we don't run from these things. Sasa tunajua kwamba sisi tutakuja kuwa watu wakuu. You don't run from hardship. Watu wakikudharau, you don't run, you stay there. Ukimaster to stay in hardship, you're going to be a very powerful leader. You're going to be a very strong person. Mastering the art of staying. You have to stay until your character is built, until you evolve. I hope you understand. Now let me talk a little bit about love and service. So service is an opportunity for us to demonstrate our leadership skills. I already explained this point. Service is just an opportunity for us to demonstrate our leadership skills. The motivation of true service must be love. The motivation of true service must be love. If there is something else that is motivating you to go and do service, apart from love, I can assure you there's going to be a shipwreck. Something is going to happen later. The motivation of true service must be love. We serve not because we are paid, not because not because we are appreciated that much. No. We serve because we love. And we know that I told you that the reason why you are here is actually to serve. The reason why you are born, the reason why you are born, that you came into this world, was to serve. I told you that point. I don't know if you understand that. Your purpose for existence is to serve. So if you don't like serving, this tells me that you don't like your purpose. You don't like being here. So there's no love in service, in what you're doing. You're only there for money. Money can only do a very small thing. Hey, man can do very little in your life. You don't know this, but I can assure you, money does very little in your lives. If the motivation for what you're doing is just to get money, to get recognition, to get this, to be seen, then there is a danger. Any service that is not centered in love is not service, rather it's just an activity. Service must be centered in love. When your service is centered in love, you're able to go extra mile. You're able to go to those orphanages and give your best. Even if you have not eaten, you're able to go. You're able to go. Maybe you have to work. You don't have money that day to pay for transport, but you're going, you love that. I'm going to serve. This is my purpose. This is why I came here in this world, to serve. I'm telling you, there is a reward for that, but it has to be a genuine service. It is a genuine service that gets a reward. Love displayed through service is what inspires people and transforms them to become leaders. This is why you don't like most of the leaders in your country. Why? Because most of them, they're not doing this out of love. So you don't love these leaders. But if you go to a place like South Africa and you talk to people about Mandela, you'll be so surprised how they love this Nelson Mandela, late Nelson Mandela. As a matter of fact, I don't have time to talk more about, I don't have that much time to talk about Mandela. This is a very good leader that I like to give examples about him. So love displayed through service is what inspires people and transforms them to become leaders. The people, the kids that you're going to help are not just going to be inspired by you just because you know how to solve many questions, you know how to use different steps. No, there is very little thing that is going to inspire them to like you when they see how much you love what you're doing, when they see how much you love them, and how ready you are, like your readiness to go extra mile to help, your willingness to use extra resources, your love for what you're doing. When they see that love, that's what is going to inspire them, not the magnitude of your work. It is the love. So my question is, what is motivating you when you wake up in the morning, you go to work, you go to serve, you go to do this? What is really motivating you? Because if there's no love, there's going to be self-regret. At some point, you're going to see that you have wasted your time. You're going to say that you wasted your time, you wasted your whatever, because there was no love connected to what you're doing. This is the kind of service that we are promoting in this organization. Whether it is private tutoring or any other kind of service, it has to be centered in love. It has to be centered in love. I've seen very good tutors. I've seen tutors who started abroad. When they started working, and after some time they felt so bad because there was no love. They were using their pride, they were using their skills to demonstrate what they can do. As a matter of fact, I can tell you plainly, this is why most of the students are failing in international schools. Because in international schools, you have a bunch of proud teachers who think they know everything. Just because maybe they went to school abroad, they studied in America, in Europe, so they think they know everything. A bunch of proud teachers. So when they teach, they're not doing it out of love. What is the result? Failing. Students fail. They cannot be inspired. Students don't like going to school. As a matter of fact, many international students are going to school just to meet their friends, just to be with their friends. They are going to school only for extracurricular activities. Trust me and take that word. Even in universities, I don't think you like that professor who is not who's not teaching out of love. I don't think you like that professor who is just doing it as a job, just to, to get that paycheck. I don't think you like that professor. You don't like that professor, right? Because there is something about love that attracts people. When you love genuinely, there's something about love that is going to attract people to you. When you love genuinely, you don't have to show it. You don't even have to promote it. It is like a magnet that will attract people, that will inspire people. People start saying there is something about you. We don't know, but there's something about you. Genuine love. I want you to change. Some of you want to destroy your friends. Whatever, you see your friends in relationships, You're jealous, you start doing things to destroy, to break people. That's not love. You're not acting out of love. Love will teach you when to keep quiet. Sometimes we may see some things, and because of love, we decide, so this is none of my business. Love does not teach us to judge people when you're serving, when you're doing whatever. We're not judges. We cannot judge people. We love people. We don't judge them. We're not better than anyone else. Love teaches us how to be humble. It gives us humility. It is humility. Love is very strong. Nilifundisha sehemu kwa mwanafunzi ambaye alikuwa anafanya Cambridge. It was a very challenging family, but I really loved that child. I really loved her. I really liked her like her. She was amazing because she was so confused about life. She was getting that age now. She was getting into I don't know adolescence. So she was so confused about love and life itself. So I had to mentor her, to talk to her, to build her faith, whatever. So I really loved what I was doing. So even when there were so many things happening in that family, whatever, I still enjoyed doing my work because I genuinely loved what I was doing, and I was not going to allow anyone else to get in the way. I was not going to let anyone's approval. iService. Let me talk a little bit about iService. iService, most of you have been doing this. This is a service meant to give an attention, to get an attention. The service meant to get an attention of your supervisor. iService. You do something because you want to get an attention. This is not service, rather it is a pretense. So a good leader does not need anyone's approval. They do what is right and they don't seek recognitions. When you're a good leader, you don't wait to see your supervisor and then you start doing good things. No, that is childish. That's what we used to do in primary school. You wait for a teacher to come in, then you keep quiet, you take your textbook, you pretend as if you are studying. If you're still doing that in this age, you have not grown. You have not grown. So you cannot keep on acting in iService. iService, you know that today Mr. Wilbert is going to be conducting a meeting. So I'm attending this. But tomorrow is Dafrosa conducting the meeting. I'm not attending Dafrosa's meeting. iService. You want to impress. You want to show that you are there. You want Mr. Wilbert to see that you have been attending meeting, you're active. But when it is Upendo conducting the meeting, you don't attend. iService. You cannot impress me. As a matter of fact, you cannot even impress me by anything. I'm not impressed by people. That I don't seek people's approval. So if you're a leader and you want to be a good leader, build your life. You have to learn this. You have to master this. Not just here, even outside. When you're working, in your business, whatever, wherever you are, avoid this thing called iService. iService destroys you. iService destroys you. iService is the result of not having integrity. Integrity is the ability to do what you say. You cannot. As a matter of fact, I've learned that the people that I've worked with, and they're trying so hard to impress me, and every single time that they kept doing a good thing just to impress, to get my attention, I felt mad. Like I was getting even more hungry every single time that they did something. I was getting more angry at them. Just because I knew for sure that something was wrong. You know, sometimes people do something like something has to be wrong. You feel it. Intuitively, we feel something. Use intuition as a leader. There's something you feel that something is wrong. But this is not how this person behaves when I'm away. Why is he or she trying to act this way right now? This is not how this person works. Why now? Eye service. You cannot impress us. I'm saying it now because you are about to make a big U-turn. Big things are about to come into this organization. So if you think you're going to try to impress your leaders to give you favor, to favor you, it's not going to work. It has to be a genuine service. Last slide, leadership and decisions. Your decisions make you a leader. So not choosing to decide is also a decision. Leaders don't run away from making decisions. You're going to be faced with so many decisions in your life, and you have to be able to make those decisions. People run away from making decisions. That's why when something small happens to you, you start calling people. You start posting on your status, WhatsApp status. You post everywhere. That's because you want people to, people to feel bad about you, people to start asking you, what's happening? Why are you posting something like that on status today? Now, my friend, no. This is leadership talk. This is leadership talk, real talk. We don't do that. Something small. You carry your phone. Let me call my mom. Let me call this. Let me call that. A little. You are 25 years, but you have 10 mentors. You have 10 counselors. What are you doing with your life? 10 counselors, 10 mentors. What are they helping you with? 25. You know why? Because you're running from making decisions. You are handing your life to people to make decisions for you. Other people are controlling you. We're running away from making decisions. That is dangerous. I'm not saying that I should not be involving people in making hard decisions. There are some decisions you need to involve people. But I can assure you that many people in these generations are running away, and they're trying to have other people take over their lives. Your decisions make you a leader. It means it gives you control over your life. It gives you control of your life. And as a leader from today, do not run away from making decisions. Don't ever do that, because it will destroy you. It will destroy you. This is the end of my meeting. I don't want to take most of your time, and the time is almost up. I'll take a few questions.